Madam Speaker, it is with great pleasure that I rise today to honor Judge H. Dale Cook. Judge Cook was a World War II veteran who spent nearly 50 years in public service and more than 33 years as the United States District Judge in Oklahoma. Judge Cook began his career in public service in 1951 when he was elected county attorney for Logan County and Guthrie. He would hold several other positions in public service in Oklahoma, including First Assistant U.S. Attorney, Chief Trial Attorney, and Legal Counsel and Advisor to Governor Henry Bellman. In the early 1970s, Judge Cook worked in Washington, D.C. for the Social Security Administration until beginning his career as a federal judge in 1974 when he was sworn in as U.S. District Judge in the Northern, Eastern, and Western Districts of Oklahoma. 5 years later, in 1979, Judge Cook became Chief Judge of the Northern District and served in that capacity for 13 years. In 1992, Judge Cook took senior status to enable the appointment of an additional judge to the Northern District. As a senior judge, he continued to be active and carried a full court docket for the next 12 years until a few months before his death in September 22, 2008. Judge Cook was adamantly committed to his belief that politics should play no role in the dispensing of justice, and demonstrated that belief in his judicial rulings and the administration of his responsibilities as Chief Judge. He was a man of fairness and integrity who opened each court session with the "God bless the United States and save this honorable court." Judge Cook's greatest legacy may be the restoration of and the reopening of the original federal courthouse in Tulsa, Oklahoma. When the federal courts were moved to another building about 45 years ago, the old federal building sat largely unused. Judge Cook saw this building as a solution when there became a need for additional court space. He spearheaded the effort to restore it to its original splendor. Judge Cook used his powers of persuasion and his influence as Chief Judge of the Northern District to insist on conforming the courthouse to its original design and decor. Without his involvement, the building would have never been used for its current purpose, and the beauty of a lost era would not be visible as it is today in Tulsa, Oklahoma. By his direct efforts, the building is now included in the National Registry of Historic Places and is currently used for the courtrooms, judicial chambers, the bankruptcy court, and affiliated federal offices of the Northern District of Oklahoma. Due to the vision and hard work of Judge Cook, the building is now being used for its original purpose as a federal judicial courthouse. Preserving the beauty of a lost era, as a federal judge, he conducted his duties in a nonpartisan manner. It is my hope that the naming of this federal building will be as equally as a bipartisan effort to his honor, to the honor of this exceptional man and his exemplary career in public service and bringing the federal courthouse back to its original grandeur. I urge the adoption of H.R. 3305, and I yield back the balance of my time.